All right, we are back here with Fox 12 now. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We are live streaming here to the Fox 12 Oregon Newsroom. I'm Greg Nibbler, and we appreciate you being here wherever you're watching. You know, over 4th of July, we talked about this beforehand, and we spoke with a lot of people about the dangers of fireworks and how they can set fires even way after they are actually launched. That is the case that happened in Sumner, Washington. However, there was a man who saw a fire begin in between his house and his neighbors, and he decided to go out and do something about it. However, it's one of those moments where you have to act quick, and what if you don't have any clothes on? You still got to put the fire out. That is part of what we're discussing here with our guest, Wesley Howard, who's here. Wesley, thank you for joining us right now. You know, just a crazy video that is out there that captures this moment. But I want to start off. Yeah, would you mind telling us just about yourself, and then we'll get into this moment here that happened.
Sure, yeah. My name's Wesley. You know, I did 8 years in the Navy back in 2000. I think that's the military training is kind of what prepared me for this whole situation. I'm a mechanic, and I work around dangerous machinery a lot, and just kind of felt like it was just the right place, right time for me.
So walk us through where you were at and what occurred here, because this was the middle of the night, right?
Right. I'd have gone to bed because I was working the next morning, and my fiance had stayed up with the pets just to kind of keep them calm because fireworks were still going off. So thankfully, she was awake when the doorbell from a neighbor who was about saw the fire from that far. He rang the doorbell and got my fiance's attention, and then she yelled upstairs and woke me up. And in a haze, I didn't really know what was going on at first until I walked to the top of the stairs and looked out through the window, and I could see the in between the two houses bright orange. And I know we don't have any lights over there, and so I knew that it looked bright. And as I looked a little further, I saw the raging fire, and that's when I knew I had to make a quick decision: was either go back and find shorts or run straight outside and go for that fire hose. I knew I had a garden hose up front, so that was my choice.
Yeah, thankfully you remembered you had that garden hose there too, and that you knew, you know, this was the place to go.
Yeah.
I mean, as you're walking up there, that looks like a pretty big fire. I mean, how hot was that burning?
It was probably, I could hear it crackling from inside the house, and that's how I knew I had to act fast, because I knew it was huge. It was probably at least 6 or 7 feet above the fence, and it was the loudest thing I'd ever been to when I'm next to it. Just the adrenaline, hearing that fire. It was raging pretty quick, and if I didn't get out there soon, because there was no other hose or fire extinguishers weren't working, and it was next to a brush pile, so if I didn't get out there quick, it was about to take off.
Man, and yeah, that could have been so much worse. And so you're out there, you get out there with the hose, you're putting this out. Now, were you able to successfully get the fire out on your own?
I was, yeah. So I was fighting the fire for about 5 minutes in the buff before I finally felt like my side was starting to settle down a little bit. I put the hose down, facing the fire. I ran back in, got some shorts, and my fiance also brought out the fire extinguisher. And I fought it for about 10 more minutes and got it down to pretty much nothing by the time the local PD and fire and rescue showed up. And then they kind of took over and finished the hot spots. There was a couple hot spots that they knocked down, but I pretty much got it all knocked down by myself.
Wow. I mean, that is such fortunate timing to have your fiance notice that and to have you be right there to get that out, because I can imagine that could cause a lot of damage. And other than the fence, which I'm gonna guess didn't fare too well, was there any more damage that happened?
No, thankfully, it was pretty minimal damage. We had zero house. The fence has already been repaired and replaced by our neighbors. I think they had a melted dryer vent and a little bit of damage on one window around the vinyl. But other than that, their home is completely fine. The siding is fine because it's wood. And a little bit of burns for both of us. Both families had some burns. I had a couple burns. They had a couple more severe burns than I did, but nothing life-threatening. So all in all, the situation turned out pretty good, all considering.
And do you know what it was that started the fire?
We're pretty sure it's fireworks that just weren't properly put out. They used the garden hose to douse the fireworks when they were done, instead of properly submerging them for an hour or just leaving them out on the curb overnight like some of our other neighbors do. So it was their trash can that burned completely down to the ground from a firework.
Man, I mean, so lucky, you know, everybody minus some of those minor burns that you all got, but so lucky of a situation to have this work out the way it did, and a good lesson I feel like for everybody out there. In hindsight, now that you've gone through this, is there anything that you would have done differently?
Uh, as far as how I reacted, no. But as far as it kind of brought a spotlight on my own preparedness and my own family safety, because where that fire was at was actually along the house, the side of the house where the stairs to the bedrooms were at. So if that fire had jumped to the house, it would have burned those bedrooms, and our escapes would have been cut off. So we weren't prepared for that, but now we are. We already ordered a couple of fire ladders, you know, for us and the children in the house as well. So, you know, it took that situation to kind of, you know, take a self-examination, but you know, it's good that we're able to do that now.
Yeah, and good for everybody else too to think about those kinds of things too at their own homes, because it's easy to overlook something like that and not realize, you know, oh, this is something that could happen to anybody as it did to you.
Absolutely.
But thankfully, what's it been like with the national attention of you being
Right.
the naked guy putting out a fire?
It's happening so fast. I've been showing this clip. I started showing this clip just a few coworkers and a couple of regulars here at the bowling alley that I work at. They would laugh. So I sent it out to a couple other affiliates yesterday, and one of them picked it up, and it's just been going like wildfire now. I could Google my name, and I just see a bunch of video clips of me standing there with the hose, you know, with the blur around my butt, and it's so surreal right now.
I mean, it's awesome though. It's awesome you were able to get that done and able to go out there and do that. I think it's taken off because it's a unique story. I mean, the video is great, especially you running around the side of the house. You know, in hindsight now, not at the time, I'm sure.
Right.
But yeah, amazing. Well, thank you, you know, for joining us. Is there anything, you know, since with this newfound fame that you want to get out there to people or say to anybody?
You know, I love being a part of the community and neighbors, and the reason why I did that is I'd hope a neighbor would do the same thing for me. And you know, I think that's what I love about this country. And I just hope we all just continue to be neighbors to each other, whether or not you know each other well or not. You know, we're all in this together. So that's kind of how I felt about why I jumped into that firefight, and that's kind of what I want everyone to do.
That's a great mantra right there. Great idea, and definitely a good idea for everybody helping out their neighbors. And that's exactly what you did. So, I will thank you very much, you know, for joining us here and having time to talk to us.
Thank you.
And I know you're on the rooftop of your the bowling alley right now. In case anybody was wondering where you're at, I forgot to address that. But yeah, man, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on, and I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. There we go. That was Wesley Howard here joining us on Fox 12 Now. And I appreciate him having time to be here on the show and talk about that incident that happened. Okay. We need to take a quick break. We've got more coming up, and we'll be back after that with more Fox 12 Now.